I was telling Vincent that TOT is supposed to be a full day, but we don't have the luxury of that time. So we're going to do it more like a presentation. And then where we need to pause and discuss, we'll pause and discuss. At the end of the entire thing, if we have time, we'll do a little exercise, interesting exercise, of course, that will help drive home a few points. But if we don't have time, we'll probably skip it. So we're looking at the science and art of training. And in this session, we want to enhance understanding, your understanding of the science and art of training. We want to equip participants with key principles and skills for effective facilitation. And then we want to also enhance your knowledge of how to enhance retention, recall, and learner engagement in a training setting. This is a training of trainers. So I don't consider you mere participants. You are trainers. And what we're going to look at in this session is how do you ensure that your training is effective? How do you ensure that your training is effective? Because after now, you will have the responsibility of taking all of this forward, looking at the manual and using it to train others. So how do you ensure that your training is effective and the right knowledge and skills are passed across? So when we say science and the art of training, do we see training as a science or an art? And I'll say it's both. It's both. So the scientific part of training is where we look at the structure of training. How do you organize the training? What elements do you look at? How do you even structure the training? Even arranging the training room is also part of the science. So we're going to be looking at that aspect: adult learning principles, training cycles, sitting psychology, and recall techniques. And then we're going to look at the aspect that we can refer to as art. For every training, you must bring in some creativity, otherwise it will be boring. Right? So creativity is important. Empathy is also important. What is empathy? Who can help us? What is empathy? Hello? In very simple language, yes. No, putting yourself in another person's shoes. Right. So empathy is important, and that's why in this training, there is nothing like shaming. Somebody does not understand something, or somebody has a different view from what you expect, it should not be an embarrassment. It should not be an embarrassment. People have a right to who they are, and wherever they are coming from is different from where you are coming from. All right? And so what is true for them may not be correct for you, but you don't shame anybody. We listen to each other and we learn together. Empathy is important. And then, of course, innovation. How do you innovatively engage your participants? So the way we engage you as trainers will be different from how you engage keke riders, for example. Is that not true? If you bring keke riders into this room and you are speaking grammar, I am making a presentation, I'm talking about science and arts, they will just be looking at you and say, I made them do quick. Passengers, zero do. And obviously, they wait. That is it. Excuse me. But together, the science and art form the foundation for transformative facilitation. So, first of all, we want to look at the concept of training. What is training itself? And we say it's a process that involves acquisition of knowledge, sharpening of skills, concepts, changing attitudes and behaviors to enhance performance. So if you look at the entire manual that we're using, you will find that it's going to challenge some of the attitudes that you brought into the room. It's going to challenge some of the behaviors. It's going to challenge some of the beliefs that you have held for a very long time. Nobody is saying you should break whatever you already know, but I just want to invite everyone to be open-minded. Be open-minded, because sometimes what you hold on to very firmly, you know, you may hear other sides to the story that will challenge those notions. So we're not here to really convert you, but we're here to provide information and also ask you to reflect, to see some of the things you have been doing, whether they still make sense in this day and age. So we went for a program sometime, I think it was, I don't know whether it was our 31st or 30th wedding anniversary, and we invited young people, young couples to join us. And one person, we presented a lecture, and one person was asking a question, one young man. He came with his wife, beautiful wife. And he stood up and said, he does not know what is happening, no. That in those days, when his father spoke, the mother ran. He said, but today, if I talk, this guy go, they look me, they answer me. You see that? So people come with all kinds of mindsets. This is how it was in my father's house. This is how it should be in my house. But something happens and we're not living in the same times, and then if you see something that is different, it's like, what? How can she talk to me? And all of that. Or how can she even have a say in any of these things? So we're going to say a lot of things during the training, probably not during my session, but during the main training itself, that will challenge what you know. But nobody is here to upturn our culture or upturn our religion, because that's what people are most afraid of. They say, they're going to come now, they won't bring Oyinbo style. You will find through this training that there is something called African feminism, which has to do with our own way of life. So we're not here to impose a Western idea on you. People are always afraid of Western ideas, but now they jackpot. You people like Oyinbo land, but you don't like their ideas, not so. So there is something called African feminism. I'm going to dwell on that at some point. But this is what training is all about. It will challenge what you know. You will acquire knowledge. It will sharpen the skills you already have. It will introduce you to some new concepts. It will also change your attitude or behavior, or at least challenge your attitude and behavior in certain ways. So training requires that you know where you stand at this time. And that's why we did the pretest. The pretest helps us to establish what people already know, how they feel towards certain things, where you desire to be more knowledgeable, to be more skilled, and all that. And then it requires that you acquire what we call KSA, to reach your desired destination. So when we say KSA, this is what we mean. The core elements of training has to do with K for knowledge, S for skills, and A for attitudes. And they are all defined there. So knowledge is understanding concepts, frameworks, with evidence. And then skills have to do with practical abilities to apply knowledge in real life contexts. And then attitudes have to do with your values, your beliefs, and behavior that shape the actions that you take. Okay, so it's also repeated on this slide. But the other side of the slide talks about values. What are values? So we have all come here with our various values. Some of those values will be affirmed. Some of them may be challenged during the training. So guiding principles, values are guiding principles or standards that shape behavior and decision making. They are deeply held beliefs about what is right, important, or desirable. They are often linked to cultural, moral, or spiritual foundations. So for example, in the context of male feminism, we talk about respect for equal rights of all humans. And somebody will wake up and tell you, no, in my religion, we don't have equal rights. Please don't shout, because that is this person's understanding. That's how they grew up. This is the socialization the person received. And until you show evidence, compelling evidence, that human beings, whether they are men or women or boys or girls or persons with disabilities or albinos, or they come from whatever part of the country, they have equal rights as citizens or they should have equal rights as citizens. Unless you are saying that God values some people more than others. But that's not the subject of our discussion yet. We're going to come to that in the course of the training. So, 3 basic principles of adult learning. One of them is active learner participation. So as a facilitator, when you go out to facilitate, you are not the Mr. or Miss Know-All. You involve your participants in the discussion. Unfortunately for me, some of the things I'm going to be telling you today, I may not be able to apply them in my session because of time. If we had a full day, they'll probably do the sessions differently. But this is just to let you know that when you go out to train, don't just dish out information without getting feedback from the audience, because that is very important. That helps them to even stay alert. Is that also? When you know that I'm going to throw a question at you, you will listen to first understand before you respond. And it makes people feel like they are valued. So you can't gather people together and begin to tell them and not hear from them, because they are not idiots. They have knowledge. Some of them even have knowledge that you, the facilitator, does not have. So you must be willing to listen to your audience. Very important. Then a supportive environment is important, in which the learner receives positive rather than negative reinforcement. Somebody says something and it's even wrong. You don't just say, no, sit down. That's embarrassing even for children, not to talk of adults. You know, you can't shut people down. Even when they are saying things that don't make sense to you, you must thank them and acknowledge them and be positive. Even if you are going to correct them, you will correct them in a positive way as not to make them embarrassed. And then independent learning experiences, actively engaging participants, allowing them to reflect and apply the knowledge that you are trying to pass across. That is very important, and it increases learners' confidence and sense of responsibility. So some learning principles. One of them is learning by understanding is retained better than learning by memorizing. Many of us have been through schools, is that also? And some of us were very good at cramming. What we call cramming. Sometimes we memorize those things just to pass exams. We don't even know how it's applied. So, the second one is repetition helps retain knowledge. So when we say learning by understanding is retained better, it means that in the course of the training, if you don't understand something, please don't pretend that you understand. You should ask questions. You should seek clarification. And it doesn't mean that the facilitator, because you are also going to be facilitator, it doesn't mean that the facilitator knows everything. People will actually come to your training prepared for you. Prepared to ask you questions that you cannot answer. As a facilitator, don't be embarrassed. You are not God Almighty that knows everything. People ask questions. If you don't know it, deflect it to the class. There might be somebody in the training room that has the answer. And if at the end of the day nobody has the answer, tell the person you will research. You will research to get the answer. It's not embarrassing. You don't have to know everything. But you don't have to be a dunce either. You cannot stand before people you're training or you're facilitating a workshop and you have no idea what the concepts mean. No. You must know. But there are issues that will come up that you don't know. Please don't be embarrassed to say you don't know or that you will find out. So repetition helps retain knowledge. Learning is often resisted if it aims to change mindsets or move people from their comfort zone. That even came through during the first exercise that we did about concerns and fears. Then also people saying, this feminism, I don't know how I'm going to receive it, or I don't know how other people will perceive it. Because you're going to go there and talk to people about feminism. So you must be comfortable talking about it. Otherwise, your fear of the concept will already show through when you stand before people to talk about it. So you need to understand it. What people think feminism is not what it is. It's not what it is. If you ask the ordinary Nigerian on the street about feminism, they'll tell you that feminists are rebellious women. They are divorced women, separated women, women that hate men. That is the street understanding of feminism. But you are in this workshop, at the end of 4 days of training, you should know better what feminism really is and be proud to talk about it, because it's not what people think it is. So let's start. We're dealing with the science of training. And one of the issues we talk about is the training cycle itself. So the training cycle has at least 5 stages, and we say every stage counts. Every stage counts. You're going to get this slide, so I may not be able to read every point on each slide because of time, but just know that there are 5 stages. There are at least 5 key stages. Somebody might say it is 6 because they will probably separate monitoring from evaluation, and they are not wrong, all right? That's why I say at least 5 stages. Your training needs assessment. We help you as facilitators understand the learners' gaps, their interests, and expectations so that the training content is relevant and aligned with participants' real needs. Is that clear enough? Training needs assessment. And it's part of what we have done, the pre-post test. You can use other methods, all right, depending on who you're dealing with. Like the way Vincent came and said you should scan barcode. Not be everybody sabi scan barcode. Is that also? When this barcode came and became popular in hotels, some of us hungry beat us well for inside hotel. We went to, my husband had a conference in London and I tagged along. And I wanted to order food. And I was looking for menu. Where the menu now? They say scan barcode. At that time, I didn't even know how to scan barcode. Later, I now learned how to scan barcode. I scanned barcode, though, and I ordered what I thought was food. When they brought the thing, one greenish, they say healthy, whatever, one greenish thing. I don't know what they blended and brought for me as food. So if you are doing this training in the motor park, you want to ask them to scan barcode. Do you understand that? So you must adapt. And the manual that you have been given is a guide. It's a guide. You must adapt it to the audience that you are training. Even if you are giving pre-post tests online to do, not everybody can access it, right? Sometimes you may need to print paper and give to people. Sometimes you may need to use a different method that does not require writing anything because your audience is probably not literate in the Western way, all right? So there is an option called vote with your feet. For example, you make a statement and say, feminists hate men. If you agree, so you divide your training venue into 3 sections. Agree, disagree, then in the middle, neutral, or I don't know. And you say, okay, feminists hate men. Or if you are training people in Warri, for example, you say, feminists not they like man, or they not like men. If you agree, go this side. If you no agree, go this side. If you no, stay middle. Do you understand that? And then you go around and ask the people that agree, why do you agree? Let them explain. Sometimes you are using a local language, right? So you must know the person you are even deploying to train in whatever area. Like the last meeting that we had, when we were talking about the manual, we were reminded that for anybody to go and do a training, you must even be a person acceptable to the audience. So you want to go train, I don't know why I'm always talking about keke riders. And you come with agbada. Already you have separated yourself from them. There is a class separation already. All right? By the way you appear. Or you want to go and train imams. And you are not a Muslim. And you dress in ways that are not acceptable in Islam. You have already disqualified yourself and created resistance, barrier, because nobody will even listen to you. So for me as a pastor, I do research. Sometimes I go to villages in the northern part, and I have hijabs that I wear when I'm going for my research. Because that initial acceptance is important. So you enter the emir's palace, and they say, madam, sit down, and everybody is sitting on the floor. I say, no, let me sit with you people on the floor. You have to identify with them, right? With everybody, wherever you are, whether you are, if you are a Muslim going to the southern parts and it's a Christian community, there is a way, Christians are not against people dressing and covering up, all right? But there is a way you present yourself that will make you acceptable. And if there's anybody in your team that is more likely to be accepted, then that person should lead the charge. And don't insist that because you are the founder of the organization, you must be the one to speak. You have to find somebody who is acceptable, who is able to do that. Okay? So we have training needs assessment. We have training objectives. Why are we doing this? We have planning and design. Training must be planned. It's not a haphazard thing. You just wake up one day and go there and start talking. No. You must train from a curriculum, you know? And then implementation is how you deliver the sessions. The language you even use to deliver, the methods you use, and all of that. And then monitoring and evaluation, you know, is for us to check whether the training actually met its objectives. But it also includes even the training environment itself. It includes the food, every process of the training we monitor. So that at the end of the day, when we write our training reports, we can tell whether the training achieves its purpose or not, whether there are things to change in the next training. I've talked about training needs assessment already. I'm going to move on because of time. So I want to introduce us to the concept of training versus facilitation. Of course, you hear me using them interwovenly as if they are the same, but technically speaking, for training, we have some differences, okay? So training transfers knowledge and skills from trainer to participants. It's like a teacher, right? You come and teach. People even distinguish between teaching and training, but that is fine. But let's say this is training/teaching. You are transferring knowledge and skills to, from trainer to participants. But for facilitation, what are you doing? You are guiding participants to discover. That's why we say carry them along. You are not just dishing out information and telling them this is how it is done. Okay? But what you're doing is guiding participants to discover, to share, and to build together. Very important. So what's the role of the trainer? Trainer is the expert's primary source of information. This does not mean that as a trainer, you should not have the expertise. You should. You cannot train from a weak point, you know, of knowledge. You don't know what you're training about and you're trying to train. No. But you do not present yourself to the people as the expert in the room or the only expert in the room, because every adult you see seated in your training has knowledge, some of which you know nothing about. So you must be humble when you go out to train. You don't talk down, but facilitator is what? A guide, a catalyst, and a process manager. What is the approach? For training or teaching, it could be content-centered and you use a structured delivery process. That is not like it is bad, but if you want people to be carried along, you must be process-centered. Your training must be participatory and flexible if you need to change. So when you look at the training manual itself, there are things that are put there. If you need to adjust anyone, please be confident enough to do it, to tailor the methods to your audience. Tailor the methods to your audience. I'm going to just skip a few because of time. I know that you will have this. You can read up for yourself. The learning style is often one way, trainer to learner. But facilitation, it is a two-way track or even multi-way, peer-to-peer, group learning. Even the facilitator learns a lot from the group, and you must be ready to learn. There are many things you think you know. So once upon a time, I was a Sunday school teacher in one of our churches in Lagos. And I was a big promoter of joint accounts for husbands and wives. And I was telling them in my class that morning, you know, an adult class, that this is important, blah, blah, blah. It shows unity, He shows that, he shows this. One mama raised up her hand and said, my pikin, my husband has 3 wives. If I join my money with his own and I die, who go train my children? I didn't have an answer for her because she was right. So sometimes we think what we believe is the only way, is the only solution to everything. Contexts differ. And as a facilitator, you must understand that the people you are delivering your facilitation to, they are not idiots. They have their personal experiences, may be different from the norm that you know. Okay, so that is very important. Be flexible enough to listen and to adapt whatever it is you are saying. I'm going to move from here now. So there's the hybrid concept of facilitator. Who can speak to it without reading what I have on the screen? There are very many. We're not going to read all of them. We've talked about who a facilitator is. We've talked about who a trainer is. And we are saying facilitator. We normally don't use it. Even me, I don't remember to use it. But it's good to understand that between the trainer and the facilitator, there is a middle point. What does it mean to you? Hello? Now that you know who a trainer is and who a facilitator is, what is facilitator? Hybrid. I've already said it's a hybrid. Say it's only my brother that is in this class. Make una dey talk now. Bros. Absolutely. Yes. So there are instances where you need to give that information because it's not available. And you must know it first. You can't give what you don't have. Is that not so? If you are still jittery about the concept of feminism, please don't train yet until you are comfortable with it. Because when you stand to speak, people are looking at you and watching, whether you even believe in what you're saying. Right? Don't go and train on something you don't believe in. First of all, work on yourself to see whether it resonates with you before you can go out there and talk about it. So, facilitator is a hybrid. It's a hybrid role that blends the strengths of both a trainer and a facilitator. The concept recognizes that effective adult learning often requires structured delivery of knowledge and participatory engagement. So what we want you to be is a facilitator. So you are playing a dual role, balancing expertise delivery with process management. So first of all, you must invest in learning. Particularly when we talk about a concept like feminism, it's not an all-comers game. All right? It's not an all-comers game. One young girl met me. She didn't meet me. She actually saw me on Facebook. She came to my inbox and said, Ma, I'm happy you are a feminist. That I'm also a feminist. But that my boyfriend just dumped me because I posted something on feminism on Facebook. And he reached out to me and said, if you want to continue being a feminist, there can't be any future between us. So I was telling her, I said, he does not understand feminism. You know, and she said she has tried and tried, you know, to explain. Well, he's adamant. And I told her, how old are you? She said 24. Okay, so my daughter just turned 26, and so they're about the same age. I told her, I said, I'm not raising my daughter for any man to give her conditions to have a relationship. If he does not want you because of the knowledge that you have, he does not deserve you. Period. That is it. And that's because I'm confident enough about what I know. A man that gives you conditions, you must drop what you know, drop the knowledge that you have for me to be with you. Otherwise, I cannot be with you. Go now. Many men for you are not going to like me today, oh. But that is the truth. And for those of you men in the house, if you are raising your daughters, you know, to just kowtow to anything, to just, you know, lose themselves because of a man, I don't know what kind of father you are. Because we're looking for male allies, men that can support the growth of their daughters, men that can support, you know, their daughters to achieve their full potential, not men that will throw their daughters under the table so that a man will find her. That is feminism. It may sound brash to you, but I don't know. Until you personalize it and put yourself in that shoe and look at it from your own child's perspective, you may resist it. For many men, there's a difference between their wives and their daughters. Many men fight for their daughters' rights. But they don't forget to say their wife na person picking. So that's part of it, so please. If you don't believe in the issue, don't be in haste to go and train, because many things might challenge you. Okay, I'm going to go now to the next slide. Facilitators trainers need 3 key sets of competencies. How many? 3 key. There may be more. But one of them is knowledge and experience. Why is experience important? Because experience helps you. For a trainer, I've been doing gender trainings for donkey years. And initially, my gender trainings were a little bit turbulent. Because I would say things, and somebody will respond and be resistant, and it can cause a lot of argument. But in the last few years, I see that my trainings are not that turbulent, because I have learned the art of presenting the issues in ways that people understand it better. Personalizing it. Okay? So you want to talk to a man about feminism, use their mother or their daughter as the example. If you use their wife, person fit slap yourself. I don't know why many men are in conflict with their wives. I don't know. They are, how do I put it now? They are cursed for respect. Is always thrown to their wives. But they forget that when we fight for the rights of women, their mothers are involved. Many men respect their mothers. Is that not so? Their mothers' rights are involved. Their daughters' rights are involved. We need to look at it from that personal angle. I'm coming to take your question. Let me just finish this slide. Okay? Knowledge and experience is important. Training techniques, knowledge of training techniques is also very important. How you go about your training so that it stimulates or it elicits the right response is important. And then concern and availability. Empathy. Understanding when people are resistant. That is empathy. Availability. Listening. Support. Yes, please. I saw a hand. Yes. Do we have another microphone? Okay. Okay, please project. Yeah. Okay.
Where that girl sent a DM to your post that what she posted has led the boyfriend to dump her. But you didn't tell us what she eventually posted.
Oh.
That necessitated the dumping.
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't ask her. I'm sorry about that. I didn't ask her. But she said she posted something that she's a feminist. You know, what was it? I think she mentioned something. I can't remember. I'm sorry about that. I can't remember. But what she mentioned was very innocent. It wasn't about being rude or about being nasty. She showed herself as a feminist, aligning with one view or another. And the boy came and said, now, whatever it is she actually posted, you're in a relationship with this guy. Relationship that probably was tilting towards marriage. And because of what you posted, he calls you to say, if you don't stop being feminist, there can't be future between us. I think she should dump him. I'm being hard. I'm being hard. But if you don't agree with me, you must have your reason. I do not want a girl who will marry a man that gives her conditions, because the conditions will not finish. Yesterday, I read something on social media. This girl is engaged to a pastor. And she said it's her first boyfriend ever. She has never had a relationship before. And she said this pastor has insisted she should call him Lord. She should call him Lord, right? Lord. After all, Sarah called Abraham Lord. You should call him Lord, both in secret and in church. And that if anything happens, and she offends him, whatever she calls offense, I don't know, the guy will not forgive her until he gives her number of days to fast. She has to fast and pray before he's able to release forgiveness. And then she added that leaving him is not an option. When I hear, That leaving him is not an option, but she needs us to advise her. So I wrote back to say, which advice again? Since leaving him is not an option, accept the fasting, and I pray that the Lord will accept your fasting in Jesus' name. I was being sarcastic. I mean, this is not even her husband, her boyfriend first. And he's already giving you fasting. Before he can forgive you, will apologize. Say no until you go and fast and pray. Abba. Think about this girl as your daughter, or not as your wife. God have mercy. Many of our girls are actually in that cage. And many young men are also in the cage, because I think that guy is also in a cage by himself. Or don't you think so? Yes, because some toxic masculinity can be a problem even to a man. You put yourself in an unnecessary situation where you have pressure and you are sad. Okay, a bit about the concept of learning. We learn with our brains. Is that not so? Hello, do we learn with our brains? When are they answer me now? Okay, so specialists have shown that brains do not decline as long as they are constantly stimulated. All right? Brains do not decline as long as they are constantly stimulated. And part of what we do in training is to stimulate the brain so that people can learn. There is also scientific evidence that the brain goes into what we call auto shut-off after only 10 minutes. If it is not giving something to stimulate it. I've been to workshops where presentations have been made, you can barely hear the person talking. Have you, especially if now Igbo, sure there's no Igbo in this room. Don't want to offend Igbo. And they talk in monotones. Is that what they call it? As I stand here, so they talk, as if I'm talking to somebody in my bedroom. You can't hear me. Your voice is not vibrant. People will slip off on you. Unconsciously. Is that not true? Yes. Because your brain will go into auto shut-off. Whatever it is you are presenting, it's not stimulating the brains of the people. I know, say there are some people where they say sleep now their hobby. So no matter how vibrant you are, they will still sleep. Or some they go winch for night. When people are sleeping there, they fly. So, I mean, some people come to church from beginning of the service to the end, they are sleeping. The story of one young man who was sleeping in church, and as he was sleeping, the pastor was saying something, and immediately he modulated his voice and shouted, "If you are a witch, stand up!" And this guy stood up. Because I didn't hear what the pastor was, he was sleeping. The only thing he heard was stand up. And he stood up, and everybody was like, eh? So you bewitched. Right. So what do you do as a trainer or a facilitator to ensure that the brain does not shut off on you? People don't become bored with your training, and they are still listening and paying attention and following you. Vary your media. Vary your media. How do you vary your media? I am presenting from a set of slides. I can also turn to the flip chart. Is that not so? To write something. So instead of just using one medium to address your audience, vary it so that you can stimulate. Part of varying the media is also giving space for people to ask questions or to make inputs, okay? Plan for regular discussion periods. Plan for small group work. Stretch breaks. Use voice control. You know what voice control is? That modulation. So you're saying something quietly, and then for emphasis, you raise your voice like that pastor. If you are a witch, stand up. That helps to keep the discussion. Can you imagine what it will look like if, as I'm presenting this now, the next person comes, is presenting. Tomorrow, everybody comes, they are presenting, and they are reading slide by slide. By the way, as a trainer, you should also understand that slides are meant to be a guide. It is not for you to deliver the slide bullet point by reading like a newscaster. If you do that, you become boring. So you may have some things on your slide. Feel free to skip. Feel free to lay emphasis. You will read off some things, of course, definitely. But don't treat the slide as if you are a newscaster. Okay? We're still talking about brains. Part of what you do in a training is to ensure that whatever message you are giving is retained. So there's retention. Retention is one thing. Retention is the mind's ability to take in and store information. So whatever it is we discuss in this training, after 2 weeks, will you remember? Will you remember? Now, there are also studies that have shown that for you to enhance retention and recall, because recall is your ability to then take that information when it is needed. All right? So you retain, but when it's needed, are you able to still locate? It's like searching your computer for information that you have stored. So storage is one thing, recalling it to use it at the right time is another. And studies have shown that when you give a message once, the brain remembers only 10% after 1 year. So whatever you learn here, it's possible that in 1 year's time, if you never go back to it again, you will remember some things, but not everything. Has that happened to you before? We have all been in school. Is that not so? All right? And then it says if you give it 6 times, recall rises to 90%. So what does that tell you as a facilitator? Make sure you repeat some stuff, recap. So tomorrow morning there's going to be a recap of what we have learned today, just to keep us in remembrance. And then review. And this can also help you as a parent, right? You're raising children or grandchildren, and they are in school. Have you ever had that experience? When I was in school, I recall that if I took a lecture today and I'm able to read it up that evening, the likelihood of me imbibing it fully is higher than the one you would take today and leave it. I mean, it's not just even in school. As a researcher, you go and do interviews. And instead of transcribing on that day, you leave it for 1 week. By the time you come to transcribe, it's real wahala. Is that not so? Because you can't even remember the context in which something was said. But do you know if you force yourself to transcribe that day, it will look as if you are still sitting before the person because you remember even the body movement, the body language and everything, you are able to write your reports better. So that's why it's important, to do it as quickly as possible. And this is also part of the science of training. And there are 5 factors that have been linked to recall. One of them is the first thing that you said during the training. Okay, so if you are training on something, if you make emphasis, that first session will be remembered. Next is the part of the training that you reviewed. All right? The next one is what was outstanding. What was outstanding? So tomorrow morning, the person reviewing is likely to ask you, what did you take away from the training yesterday? And then, what is linked? Linked to reality, linked to stories. If you don't remember even the technical jargons, you will remember the stories that were told. Is that not true? And then, of course, the last thing that was said. And you can take the first letters of each of these just for you to remember and call it FROLL, F-R-O-L-L. Each alphabet stands for a particular thing. When you have alphabets that stand for things like that, they are not actual things. So FROLL is not an actual thing. And also, we call it mnemonic, not acronym. All right, we're used to the concept of acronym. Acronym is if you say Center LSD, Center for Leadership, Strategy, and Development. It's an actual thing. But FROLL is like a memory hack, something that helps you to remember, when you mention, when you link the first letters together. So like I said before, recall is the mind's ability to select that information when needed. So to keep recall high, there are recommendations. Review within 24 hours, review 1 week later, review 1 month later, and 6 months later, and the information goes into long-term memory. All right? Let's look at concentration and attention span. The ability to recall information gets progressively worse as time goes on, unless the mind is given brief rests. Okay, so that's why we weave in breaks into trainings. If we sit here from morning till evening, without standing up, without going to the restroom, without going for tea break or lunch, you will have muscular tension. Okay, so we are told to organize our learning sessions in brief 20 to 50-minute sessions. I know that sometimes these are really theoretical, because when you look at the time that you have for the entire program, we tend to overdo. But if there's anything we should not miss our breaks. Because that helps us to get up, take a break, rest the brain, and all of that. So breaks are critical. In the NGO sector, we have this concept of walking tea break, walking lunch. Please, let's not do it. Because adults need some space. Where you have given some information, they need to stand up. Sometimes we take energizers just to do that. Sometimes we have to walk out, And I like the fact that tea and, lunch is in the restaurant. Because if it's around here, the probability of saying, let's do walking tea will be higher. So breaks are critical. They maintain recall at high level. They reduce muscular and mental tension. I've talked about memory hacks before, mnemonics. So when you organize materials to be taught around key concepts, phrases, words, they are called mnemonics. And a mnemonic is a memory hack or memory device that helps us remember pieces of information. How many of you did integrated science or biology in school? How many of you remember Mr. D. Niger? Okay, so what is the first M? Movement. R? It could be reproduction or respiration. D? N? I? Irritability. E? Excretion. R? Please clap for yourselves. Clap for yourselves. So, how many years ago did we leave secondary school? And we still remember. You see that? So that's how important mnemonics are. What about, I know many of us are not used to that. That one is more used in Oyinbo. Richard of York gave battle in vain. What does that stand for? The first letters. Many of you are used to the concept of rugby. Right? Yes, colors. So, we have R. What is R? Red. Yes, orange. Yellow, green, indigo. You see, very, very important. Okay. So to enhance memory, you use the senses. What are the senses? Senses? What you have seen. So sometimes you use infographics or diagrams. Many people are unlikely to forget the image that they saw. All right? What about touch? Sometimes, it depends on what you are training on. Is that not so? Sometimes, when you touch, people remember. Sometimes when you taste and all that. Okay, movement. So, when people have the opportunity to move, it also enhances. So, if I want to, the last exercise I want to do, if there's time, you will need to move from your seat. All right? And you will remember that exercise because of the movement. Association. Associating a technical jargon with real-life experience. It helps us remember. Humor is important. So don't be a strong face at your training, Look for something that will stimulate laughter. But use it responsibly, because you do not want to turn your training into comedy. You're not a quarrel. Right? You don't want to turn your training into unnecessary comedy. But find humor. Even when people say some things that are not correct, find humor. I'm not saying laugh at them. Okay? Make it funny and interesting. Imagination is important. Allow the people to imagine. Numbering is important. So if you say 5 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, somebody will remember that there are 5 points. Okay? Symbolism. Color. Order and sequence. Exaggeration. All of these things can help enhance your participants' memory. So, scientists have also shown to us that our brain is one, but has both the left side and the right side. And everybody uses the two reasonably, to a reasonable extent. But some people are more left-brained, while others are more right-brained. Okay? So in the audience where you are training, you will have some people who use their left brain stronger or more than their right brains. Okay? And the left brain helps us with speech. So you see people who are great orators, right? It's the left brain that codes for that. Calculations. That person will know no maths, not be olodo. It's not pretending. We force ourselves no maths because we do science. It's not like I liked it. So one day, my son was reading economics in the university and was having issues with calculus because he was not taught in secondary school. So we traveled for holiday, and I said, calculus. Not the person write the book. If somebody can write, can I not read it and understand it? May I go buy calculus book? In fact, it was called Calculus for Idiots. I opened page 1. Sure? Not be English with this now. Open page 2. That day I cursed the person who founded calculus. I said, what nonsense? Why are they so wicked? Something that somebody can read, cannot understand. How is that important in anybody's life? So when we came back from the holiday, I got a young man who is a lecturer at the University of Abuja, who is also an economics, but knows calculus. And the man broke it down for him. You see life? So everybody, maybe now right brain, now they use pass. That make me not know maths. I'll be only calculus. I fooled myself because I told my son, I said, what is there? Is it not ordinary calculus? I will buy the book, I will read it, and I will understand. For where? I don't understand anything. Right, so intellectual analysis. Have you seen this person who is highly analytical? Highly analytical. Anything, any concept you bring, the person will analyze it, break it down. In fact, there is what is called analysis paralysis. Even any idea you bring, they go analyze and so they will paralyze the idea. And they will show you 10 million reasons why it won't work. But, I mean, I'm not saying that all analysts are like that, but there are some people who are very good. You give them one concept, they break it down for you into many parts, okay? Reading. Those of us who don't like book now because now right brain we they use. Writing. Naming. Sequencing. Critique. Evaluation. Logic. There are people who are very good at these things. Doesn't mean they don't have the left brain, but they tend to use the right brain, the left brain more. And the right brain codes for, you see these colors you're seeing? It codes for creativity. Artistic, what do they call it now? Your artistic, musical ability, rhythm, emotions, recognition, color. There are people who don't recognize more than 1 or 2 colors. And I have them in my house. I have them in my house, only white and blue. Every other color, and I then sabi. Is it in the room? No, you know this. That of recognition, you will think that the person is proud. That's one sickness that runs in my house between my husband and I. We know they recognize face. So we can be in this class where we meet outside. I will know that I've met you, but I will just be wondering, say, hey, where I meet him? And as you're talking to me, you will think I still know you. Don't be pretense, so. Now sickness. And my husband has learned to deal with it. So he smiles at everybody. So one day at the airport in Lagos, somebody came, Dr. Otive, how are you? I said, oh, long time. My husband said, long time. And the person looked and said, long time. Not be me and you did that meeting yesterday. Not be only long time. Recognition. Even me recognizing road is a problem. Okay? If you leave me here now, that I drive to my house, I go drive around Abuja first. There was a day everybody had traveled in my house, and I was to go and pick my daughter from school. She was in Nigerian Turkish at the time. So I said, okay, let me go and pick her now. She said, now let me the house. I don't know where I turned, though. I was coming on the express. I turned, I should turned somewhere. And then I was seeing water by the side of the road. I said, when did water enter this road? River. I don't face Mabushi with that. So when I got to that big roundabout going to Gwarimpa, at least I know that place now. I now stopped because I know say I don't lose. So I called one man and said, please, I'm going to Nigerian Turkish. The man said, madam, you don't lose. You need to turn back. Hey. By the time I got to school, my daughter was the only person remaining. Evening had come. And she came and said, you know that in a cry, don't enter my throat, but I don't feel cry. She came and said, hey, mommy, sorry, was there hold up? I don't feel talk. How do you tell your child, say you miss road? You they go in school. I know if you talk. So it's not pretense, recognition. God help me. And then, no, let me not talk. I don't want to embarrass anybody. Let me leave it. May we leave that matter. I was going to say that me and daddy's driver, when me and her, they go somewhere and only me and her, we don't lost finish with that. From house, we don't say we go lost. Even if we are using map, me and William, we must lost. Abba, nothing to us. And Dr. Otive will be saying, use map. I said, we use map, and it took us to a different place. Comprehension, perception of abstract patterns. This one is a little bit spiritual. How many of you can perceive abstract patterns? You enter a room, the walls are broken, and you are seeing images in the cracks. Is there anybody who has that gift? Now let me. May not be like, I'll be winch. Put your hand up where now? Do you understand? If I'm flying and I sit by the window, as I look into the clouds, I see chariots, I see horses, I see mansions. Abstract, perception of abstract is coded for by your right brain. Not everybody has it. There is this, I think it's Michelangelo or something like that, a sculptor. He said his own gifting, when he looks at a piece of wood, he has seen the image he wants from the wood. All he needs to do is to chip off the parts that don't belong to the image. So it doesn't stress. It's a gift, okay? And it's coded for by the right brain. Facial expressions, intuition, holistic ability. This one of musical ability, if you are in a choir and somebody is singing and missing the key, the person is not pretending. He's not trying to spoil your song. You know how people sing in parts. I don't know whether I've been in that choir, but people sing in parts. People are singing and missing key. The keyboardists go to play. Where you miss key, go do you waka. Inside church, they are not pretending. There are people who will hear music only once, and they know it. They can sing it. There are people who you go teach. They can't pick key. If I one girl in a choir, those days will say, I give her key, no pick. So they are not pretending, okay? They're not trying to spoil your music. So recall increases if you stimulate the left and right brains using multiple channels. That's what we're driving at. You know, all this grammar we have been speaking. Recall increases if you stimulate the left and right sides of the brain using multiple channels. If you need to use visual pictures, there are children who cannot read a book without pictures. They are not pretending. Okay? Hearing words and how you say your words is also important. Okay? You're going to train in an Igbo community, and you cannot pronounce Okechukwu. You will go and learn how to pronounce it because you will offend somebody by spoiling their name. Say they spoil my name. Cannot even pronounce my name. Or you don't know how to greet in the language of the people. You will go and learn. You will go and learn. Even if it's ordinary greeting, at least you will go and learn. All right? And then, of course, feelings, sensations. There are some emotive stories you tell. So, for example, you can use case studies to stimulate that emotion, for them to relate, a relatable case study. And they will say, really? So this thing is like this. That's how to ensure that people remember what they learn. Mindset. Mindset can be an enemy of recall. When people hear messages that conflict with their beliefs or values, they experience what we call cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance. There is a struggle internally between what they are hearing and what they have always known. Are these people trying to destroy my religious beliefs, or are they trying to destroy my cultural beliefs? There is what we call cognitive dissonance. They can either change position or self-justify. They will justify it. They say, no, this is how it's always been. Nobody can change it, and all of that. And then, of course, trainers must help trainees overcome their discomfort by finding a wift to help them change their minds. What is wift? Who knows? What is the need for them? What is the need for them? That is the wift, right? What is the need for them? If somebody perceives that whatever it is you are bringing to them has advantages and can make societies or families better, they are likely to listen to you. If they think it's going to destroy their families or destroy their culture, or destroy themselves or the nation, they will resist. So how do you frame your message? What examples do you bring into your training that will help people understand what is the need for them? And when they begin to self-justify, don't get angry. As a trainer, you have lost the right to be angry. Otherwise, you destroy your own training. It happened to me in Jos many years ago. I had a co-facilitator who was supposed to train. We went there to train commissioners for women affairs. They came from all over the country. And at the beginning of the training, the Minister of Women Affairs came, made a speech during the opening ceremony, and then left. As she was going, all the commissioners got up. I don't know what they do for civil service, and followed her. They didn't come back until after 1 hour. By the time they came, we now said, okay, sit down, let's start. And then I started with ground rules. And part of the ground rule was that because it's a hierarchical system, let's take workshop names so that everybody will feel free. Because if we do that hierarchy in the training room, some people will feel intimidated already. They won't be able to say what they want to say. Somebody should have said, no. We cannot change the hierarchy. This is civil service, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you as facilitator, what will you do? By the time I tried to explain, they didn't agree. I said, okay. They could no verse. Many times I was pinching myself and preaching inwards to take it easy. You want to do anything? No. Just go straight to the point. And I train him with this. Hey, Ejiro, don't suffer. Okay, so I managed and I finished my training. Of course, because I knew the subject well, by the time I finished delivering the training, many of them were very impressed. When I was going, they were following me. Hey, give me your card. I just looked their head. I said, no, the only card. Nonsense. And ingredients. We want you to come and train in our state. I said, no, what did you even learn today that you want me to come and train in your state? Anyway, I shall left and went to Abuja, thinking that the rest of the training would go well. My co-facilitator, she did not manage the process. When they talk one, she go talk two. They say, now fight, that they finish the training. So you can't go and destroy your own training. Whatever they say to you, you will swallow it. And be advising yourself inside. So there's a framework. There may be many frameworks, but there's one framework that works for us in training. It's called the Kurt-Lewin's framework of proposition. And it has 3 components. Unfreeze, move, refreeze. What does that mean? When people come, they come with set ideas in their head. Some will even come with plan to attack you, to say, if I ask this woman this question today, she not go fit answer am. It's all right. No wahala. But first of all, you do your presentation in such a way that you follow that direction. First of all, you unfreeze. Okay? That unfreezing is like getting them to reflect on some key concepts and applying them, to real life and all that. And they themselves are beginning to have dialogue within themselves. You unfreeze. After unfreezing, what do? You move them from the perception they came with by giving them information. But remember to maintain the what is in it for them so that they see value in what you are giving to them. And then, now that they have embraced new values, what do? You refreeze. Ensuring that whatever they have learned, the moment they step out of the room, they are not going to go back there and destroy it. That's the unfreeze, move, refreeze concept. And that's how the manual was designed, starting from the basics, from what we know to what we don't know, and then forming coalitions to ensure that we continue to run with this knowledge. 4 basic facilitation skills. I don't know what time it is now, but I'm sure I'm almost behind. Okay. I still have a little time, not much. 4 basic facilitation skills that every facilitator must pay attention to. 1, attending skills, facing the participants. This podium was over there. I was wondering how I would be looking at this and looking at you. You do not back your audience. Unfortunately, sometimes I have to step aside, but at least the angular one will ensure that I'm not fully backing the audience. 4 basic skills: attending skills, facing the participants, maintaining appropriate eye contact, avoiding distracting behavior. Who can give me an example of a distracting behavior from a facilitator? Distracting behavior. Yes, my brother there. Oh, back there. No, not you. After him, you. Yes. Hello? Hello? Sorry, I'm in a training. Sorry, I'll call you back. Yeah? Bye-bye. I will look irresponsible when I do that. Is that not so? Yes, my brother here. The one in white. I can't hear you. Can project, please. Oh, he said what you want to say. Are you a mind reader, bros? Okay, any other distracting behavior from a facilitator? Yes? Looking tired. So, if you are going to train tomorrow, sleep well this night. Don't be looking tired and overwhelmed. Audience will not be sorry for you. Yes. So as I was saying, and the truth will go well, but not during training. Okay, yes, my brother. Uncontrolled movement. But movement is good, though. This one is not uncontrolled, though. You know, one other thing you shouldn't do is to stand there throughout your training. Do you understand? Okay, yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay, yes. Not overreacting to commissioners for getting angry. No, you shouldn't. Yes. Not dressing so gorgeously. Okay, so I also am not too gorgeous like this, so I don't fear. Bling blings. Okay. Okay, did I see any other hand? My sisters never talk. Oh, yes, ma'am. Okay, please do. To be appropriately dressed, very important. And appropriately dressed, apart from even overdressed, is also I wear miniskirt. Instead of you to be listening to me, and my leg will now come to look. Do you understand? You have to, yes. So you must dress to the task. And you should not also wear cloth where you don't tear. In trying to be moderate, don't also look wretched. Just be normal, okay? God help us. So it's not easy to be a facilitator or a facilitator. Okay, let me go quickly now. Observing skills. You must observe your audience, formulating an inference concerning the person observed. That's very important. Sometimes somebody is looking tired and say, I hope you're okay, you know. Just be a little bit conversational so that people know that you're paying attention to them. Some people are gisting and I don't see you now. I was observing. Take a look at the person's face, body position, and body movement. Take appropriate action based on the inference made. When somebody is tired of your training, you will know. How then go they do? You know? If you need to take an energizer at that time, take an energizer so that people will relax. Right. Listening skills, very important. Listen attentively to what is being said. Paraphrase what was said to ensure understanding. You are training, somebody puts up their hand, they say something, and because you were not paying attention, you did not hear. And then you are answering wrongly. That's not good for a facilitator. You must listen. And you must show that you are listening, you know. And then questioning skills. Asking questions will help to stimulate discussion. It could be closed questions, there could be open questions. Like you ask a question that probably does not require only a yes or no. The person will speak. And you, as you are using your observing skills, we'll see a person who has not said anything. So like I ask a question, my brother Kemakolam will put up his hand and he has answered twice. And there are people who have not said anything. I can say, okay, I'm coming. I call somebody else just to stimulate. There are some people who will never put up their hands to answer your question. It's their nature. They're not trying to spoil your training. That's who they are. So personalities come into the room. And some people, they will, even in group work, they will never talk. Unless you as the group moderator pulls them out to say, hey, we've not heard from you. Let's hear from you. Then they will talk. And when they talk intelligently. You'll be wondering why they have been quiet. It's their nature. That is it. Questioning skills. I mean, even recently, about 2 weeks ago, we were at a program. Was it? Yes, an online program. And everybody was talking. And there was like, somebody said, Ejiro, you've not said anything. I said, I'm a listener. I will speak when I have something to say. I don't just talk. I've been in meetings where people just put up their hands and talk because they want to be heard. And then you are trying to analyze what they are saying. It's not making sense. I'm not like that, naturally speaking. But there are people who feel very free. What do you think about it? They put up hand. You define what they talk. You know, go see them. Okay. Questioning skills. That's what we're talking about. Answering participants' questions, responding to questions. I want to move fast so that we can do that exercise. Characteristics of a healthy facilitation style: supportive, empathetic, considerate, responsible, devoted and committed, flexible. Let me move. Clear thinker and speaker, good listener, positive, convincing, influential, patient. Knowledgeable, ethical, firm. There are situations where you need to be firm. Otherwise, the entire thing will be derailed. And before you know it, we'll argue, and we will not get anything out of it. Aware of environment, able to cope with new situations. I've been in a training in Enugu where, as we started, all of a sudden, there was a fire outbreak. We all had to run out. And the training was cancelled for that day. We had to start again the following day after the fire was quenched. Do you understand? So anything can happen. We're not praying for anything bad. But God forbid bad thing. You are in a training in a marketplace, somebody slumps. How are you going to do now? You continue with the training, one person they die. Do you understand? That is it. So, for facilitation, know what is to be taught. You cannot teach what you have not learned. So the first thing we need to invest in is for us to learn. And what you learn during the training will not be enough. It will stimulate you, but you should go back. Today we have many gadgets that can help us. Google, search something that you don't understand. Use ChatGPT if you must to get answers to certain things and all of that. And as a trainer or a facilitator or a facilitator, you need to kill your fear of technology. Because the world is overtaking many of us already. People from my generation, they don't want to hear it. Many of them will. And I can't begin to tell you how technology has enhanced the work that we do. What we used to go to library to go and look for book and do, and you read. I don't know how many books you can read. Today, put in the right code into ChatGPT and it will search out the books for you. Right? So, those of you who are still afraid of technology, you need to wake up. The world is moving forward and there's no going back. There's no going back. A lot of things. In fact, while you are even training, somebody can ask a question you don't know. You put it on chat, it will give you the answer immediately. I don't want to give you a expo. And not beside the chat for you, see my phone. But even if I chat, it's not bad. Because these gadgets are given for our use. Not be so. That is it. So please embrace it. Embrace it. Train from a prepared lesson. No, don't just train from your brain. Even if you're not looking at it, at least let it be that you have made preparation. Create a motivational environment. Use simple language. The simpler, the better. Don't speak grammar that people will have to go and check dictionary. You know? Like my brother, Domenico. Don't go and do that one during training. This thing's still plenty. Oh, God have mercy. And I'm trying to manage time. Okay, so what you have on the screen is tips for delivering the training. When you want to present either your paper or a training, this one even has to do with what happens outside of the training room. Some of us have stage fright. If I tell people I'm shy, they don't believe me because I have a sharp mouth. It's only my husband that knows how shy I am. If I'm coming into this meeting and I'm already late, if there's a back door, I will dodge in through the back. I don't know how to walk through people. You know? There are people, where they come, they don't late. So, Anna, good morning. I don't know. It's their personality. All right? But for some of us who have stage fright, when you want to do a presentation or you want to do a training, techniques that you can use to lubricate the discussion, to make the discussion flow. So if there's a stumbling block and you're trying to... Is that it? No. Is this? Okay. So there is something there's this mnemonic that we call Pampers. We say use Pampers. We know what Pampers is now. For children, is that not so? For babies? I hear there are also adult Pampers now for elderly people. Is that not so? Right. So P for what? Hello, let's chorus it now. P for throw your voice to the back. So like the light went off. We didn't have to stop because of microphone. You must learn to, if you want to be a trainer or a facilitator, you must learn to project your voice. It doesn't come to everybody naturally, but learn it. It's important. Projection. What about A? A for articulation. Don't swallow your words. Open your mouth. Let people hear what you're saying. M for modulation. Vary your pitch. Vary your pitch. There are times you need to speak louder. There are times you need to reduce, depending on what you're saying. Pronunciation. So one man went for an interview in an office, and they had called everybody. They were calling them one after the other. At the end of the interview, they didn't call him. So he went to meet the guy calling the names. And he said, Oga, you didn't call me. Oh. The man said, what? What's your name on the list? He said, yes. I called everybody. He said, what is your name? So come and check. He pointed out, he said, and I've been shouting, you Gene. You Gene Okoro. You didn't answer. You said I didn't call your name. That name now, you Gene. You Gene. I had a friend in university whose name was Irene. The lecturer would come and say, Irene. What about femininity? You are going to have to pronounce that word. Many people call it femininity. It's not correct. That nini must enter. Anini, you did there. So let's go together now. Oh yeah, go. Femininity. Yes, just like you have masculinity, you have femininity. And as a facilitator, you should learn to pronounce words. Femininity, not femininity. What about enunciation? Overemphasize. Repetition, we know. Speed, fast to excite, slow to emphasize. Use lubricators. Lubricators are tips as part of tips for delivery. So, somebody is talking to you, you want to engage. I see. That's interesting. Go on. If the person is reluctant to speak, go on. Tell me more about that. There are non-verbal cues that you can also use to lubricate discussions. Nodding, constant eye contact, leaning forward, stepping aside, raising eyebrows, frowning. All of this can be used. So for the ideal training environment, you need a good audiovisual equipment, appropriate sitting patterns, good writing surface, control temperature. It shouldn't be too hot or too cold, right? So there are some training rooms I've been in that they say is central AC. People are dying of cold, they can't control it. So adequate soundproof, good lighting, refreshments, very important. And then for your audiovisual support, you need flip charts, organized with headings. If it's whiteboard you're using, you can use whiteboard or slides. But like I said before, words are not visuals. They are for listening to. Do not overcrowd your slide. And if you must, use designs that show one point at a time. And then kiss it. Who knows what kiss it means? What is kiss it? Keep it short and simple. Keep it short and oh God. Whenever we keep it short, more things are coming up. All right, more training tips. Try to remember names and faces. People don't take kindly to it where you don't remember them. All right, you are training and you go on the corridor and somebody is greeting you. At least if you cannot remember, do like Dr. Otive. Say, long time. But try as much as possible to remember names, and faces as much as you can. Use energizers. As a trainer, you should know a couple of energizers to use. Is there anybody who does not know what an energizer is? We all know. Know a couple. Actually prepare a couple for your training so that you're not taking unawares. That's one thing I learned working with Oyinbo people. They don't leave anything to chance. They plan it to the last letter. Plan your energizers. And energizers, if you must use them, they have to be fabulous. Fabulous is a mnemonic. And you see what it codes for. Is that not so? They must be foolproof. They must be amusing. They must be bridged. If possible, link with the cause. They must be unique, lively, optimistic, uncomplicated. So that we don't spend 1 hour explaining the energizer, what people should do. Simple thing like if I clap once, you clap twice. Should be enough. It shouldn't be a complicated process that people don't even understand. Okay. I'm going to leave this alone because you can read it. 21 don'ts during training. Appearing unprepared, starting and ending late, handling questions improperly. Let me go to other ones because of time. Bullying the participants. Have you ever been bullied in a training hall? I have been bullied. This was in Oxford. We went for an M&E training. That time I was still learning M&E. And the facilitator came, presented a chart, and said, the cycle ends here. Beyond this, there's nothing we can do. And I asked the question, what if we do this other thing beyond here? And she got angry. You were not asked to critique the chart. She was just talking. Another lady from Kenya also answered her to say, but we have a right. We paid money for this training, not be free training now, even if it's free. How can you say a chart? He said the 12 most highly placed M&E officers in the world developed this chart. So we said, but God, it was not developed by God, Abi. So after the end point, somebody cannot even think beyond that end point. Some people are like that. And that's the only thing I remember about that training. The bullying. So please, never come across as a know-it-all. You will be shocked that some of your fantastic ideas, somebody will come and puncture it with a better idea. Be humble enough to accept that they are right. Okay. I think this should be, it's not the last thing. Seating arrangements are important. I'm going to skip this slide because you can read, but I will show you this. This arrangement is called the bistro arrangement. This one is a U shape but rectangular. That one is called, what is it called now? Oh my God, how can I forget? Okay, I'm going to come back to it. Okay, I'll come back to it. But you know what this arrangement, this is not a classroom arrangement. It's not your typical classroom arrangement. The only difference between this and the classroom arrangement which we have now is that the desks are tilted at an angle, right? But I'll tell you that this middle one, either U or V shape, is the best form of arrangement for a training. Who can tell me why? Yes, my brother over there. Pardon? Yes. So if we have this room arranged in a rectangular or U-shaped manner, the person who thinks is a backbencher can become a front bencher because I will walk through to their front. So nobody can dodge. But apart from that, we will sit and be facing each other. Right now you're looking at somebody's head. At the end of the training, you may not even know who sat in front of you because you are not sitting face to face. All right? So that face-to-face arrangement helps us to engage. And then there is a middle piece where if you want to do a role play, you don't need to rearrange the room. It has a lot of advantages. So I don't know, where is Vincent? Please, if it's possible, ask them to do a rectangular arrangement tomorrow. Because that's the only way we can face each other, engage, facilitator can walk through, and all of that. It comes with a lot of advantage. I mean, if you are doing a business meeting, maybe this one will work. I don't know. But this middle one is a lot better. And this is why. We've talked about it already. No need for me to go step by step. It encourages participation, facilitator, accessibility, group dynamics, visibility, and then energy flow. The open space in the middle creates a dynamic, less rigid environment. Let me go. I think we're going to the end now. Handling difficult situations. In your training, difficult situations can arise. One of them is outbursts. When there's an outburst, what do? Be positive. Smile. You can be crying inside, but be smiling. Be smiling on the outside. Encourage, nod, use lubricators. You remember the lubricators? You know, and all that. Okay? Listen actively, deflect back to the participants. You are upset because, let the person explain. The challenger. Some people come to challenge. Don't be upset. Find merit in what they are saying. Throw back misconception to the group for correction. I talked about my training of commissioners in JOS. The talker or know all. There may be people in the room who know it more than the facilitator, and that is okay. All right? But they shouldn't disrupt the training. Wait for him or her to finish. Thank. Refocus. Move on. Slow him or her down with a tough question. Jump in and ask the group to comment. What about the whisperer? Before you talk one thing, it disrupts the training. Is that not so? But what do? Stop talking as they are whispering. Stop talking. Stand and look at them directly. Wait for them to look up, and then non-verbally ask permission to continue. The silent one, ask easy questions to boost their ego so that they can speak. The griper, complaining. You know how children, babies behave, and you say give them gripe water. Uncomfortable. Get her or him to be specific. Can you be specific about what the problem is? Show that you are positive and constructive. But when everything fails, what do? Hello, somebody help me read. Use psychological judo. How many of you know what judo is? Martial arts. Psychological judo is a conflict management and facilitation technique where instead of resisting or confronting a participant's challenging behavior directly, the facilitator redirects the energy in a way that is not disruptive. The key idea is do not meet resistance with resistance. Acknowledge or validate what is being expressed, then redirect it to the group or the learning process. This helps diffuse tension, keeps the atmosphere positive, and prevents escalation. Sometimes psychological judo may require you to tell the person to please, if you continue to disrupt this training, I shall do X, Y, Z. Right? I believe that Center LSD can ask somebody to leave the training at some point. If you become disruptive, I was in a training, an old man, we were talking about gender-based violence. And we said, our constitution says, husbands, not constitution, penal code, says husbands can correct their wives, provided, what is it now? I can't remember the exact language. Provided whatever scar is not inflicted. Grievous harm. Provided grievous harm. So we're talking about it, how bad it is. And the man stood up and said, look, I'm a pastor. And if my wife misbehaves, I flog her. Yes, I flog her. And he kept on boasting about it. And we tried to explain. Anything we said, he was challenging at some point. I can't remember exactly what we did, but we made him look like the fool in the room. That at your age, you are a pastor and you are flogging your wife and you are here to boast about it. I remember telling him at some point that, please, you are disruptive. You are disrupting the class. And if you do not mind, if you are not ready to learn, you can excuse us. That is psychological judo. Yes. But it should be the last thing you use. Okay? You should control, your emotions. That is judo for you. You see, but don't go and carry somebody, take knock grant, and I'm saying you. It's just illustrative. I'm not saying you that one. It's just illustrative. Finally. I think I am almost done, except that I would like us to take this last exercise. Is there any comment or question? So that this is the last thing we do. Because we need to stand up to do it. Comments? Okay. Wait now. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, Austin.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I just wanted to draw attention to the Gitto. It depends on the atmosphere.
Okay.
Because if that person disrupting the process is respected by members of that community, you attended your workshop.
True.
So
get to use him, and it become positive externality.
Okay.
So that you don't end up ending your workshop.
I agree with you. Positive. As long as he's not insisting on flogging his wife. Because he will be giving bad example to participants. Yeah.
That's where maybe the conflict, the knowledge transfer matter.
Okay.
Because sometimes, like you said, there's no useless view. Yeah, and like we've agreed here, there is historical paradigm that people hold on to tenaciously. You can't change those views in 5 minutes.
True.
You need some time, you know, even us as Christians, there are even behaviors we still behave that is connected to, we connect it to scriptures and hide under those scriptures. But changing those norms requires a lot of knowledge and education. And if you don't have it, it will be difficult to change that person's perspective.
Okay, thank you. So it's important that you even know your audience. Then also, if he's very influential, and if he gets, so he's the head of the Agberos, and you send him out, then everybody will get up and leave you. Yes, Dr. Ogaga. Yes.
I would like to go along with Austin, but I think the problem arises when, like you said, there's not enough time. Christ will come again before you're able to convert some people to abandon their dogmatic behavior or beliefs. But since the training must go on, the warning should be, this is the last option. If you cannot, in the time available, bring him around, what should we do? And about being influential in the room, I think if the training has been successful so far, it will be very clear that it can be isolated to make look like the fool, the idiot at the point, so that at that point you have converted the power dynamics and turned the audience against him or her. So I think that option of, if it's being disruptive and will prevent, and in fact end the workshop for us, it's better that he leaves so that we can continue.
Thank you. The last comment, because of time, please. Okay, sorry, sir. I saw him before. Okay, go ahead. After him, you, but make it very
Thank you, ma. I just wanted to say that, can we kind of address such fellow, the pastor who want to pick up his wife, by emphasizing more on the consequences of his action?
Okay.
That if we are able to do on-the-spot good storytelling of what such action has caused, that could also, have some effects on it.
I agree with you.
Thank you,
People who have died and all that. Okay, there's another person. That's the last, please, because of time.
Okay, so in some cases, even if the person is influential, I've been to a training where it was for religious leaders, and this was a Muslim religious leader, an imam, that was against what was being taught. But then one way to use psychological judo is where in that case the facilitator had to engage the audience and got another person of the same faith, the same knowledge, the same caliber.
Get a senior imam.
If it's a senior imam quoting scripture or pastor quoting scripture, there is another person that would still quote another scripture from the same book that goes against that idea.
True.
So that way it turns it around without disrupting the rest of the crowd.
Very true. That happened to me in Bauchi. I was doing gender training, and there were some people in the room. I know they were waiting for me to finish. So I don't fear the way they were looking at me. But one Sharia court judge from Taraba was in the room. By the time he took the microphone from me, I thought he was even going to counter everything I had said. He started promotion, giving scriptures from the Quran, backing some of the things, and everywhere was silent, and they all accepted. So know who you also deploy when you want to do your training, And if through your analysis you find that there is a very influential person in that place, let the person be a co-facilitator. But you must work on him to say the right thing first before you bring them into the arena. Thank you. The last exercise now. I'm going to split the room up. Let me just take these 3 tables together, but all of you will stand around the middle table and look at this. Take this one for this side. The last 3 tables, just put it in the middle. All of you, please stand up and gather around. This one, should I put it here? Okay. So that those of you in front, just stand up and gather around. Please make sure you're standing around it. Let me put this in the middle too. Put it where everybody will see it. Then please, if you don't mind, can you stand around it? Hello, so we have 4 groups now. Hello, let's listen, please. Listen to the instruction. Hello, are we together? We have 4 groups now. Some people are not listening, no. Make sure you are standing in a place where you see that figure. Can you nominate somebody in your group to take paper and pen to write what you see in your group? Don't explain. What do you see? Do you see a 3, an M, whatever you see? Just write. No need for explanation. Can you do that? Yes. Who's writing for you? Let me take my left-hand side as group 1. Okay? So this is group 1. Just look at what you see. That's group 2 over there at the back. Group 2. Get somebody to write. Everybody should speak. What do you see from the angle? Not what you are imagining. What you see from the angle where you are looking at it. Same thing here, group 3. Victoria, this is group 3. Just write. Let everybody speak. Then group 4 at the back. And let's do that. 5 minutes is more than enough for this. 5 minutes is more than enough. As many things as you can see from your angle. Please write it. No explanation. Just write. Just write it. Write it. Who is timing for me? 5 minutes. Let's round up. Please, no discussion. Just say what you saw or what you are seeing. I am already 9 minutes above my time, so please. No arguments, please. No argument. Just write whatever they see. It's not you that saw it. Whatever they have seen, write it. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Please come back to your seats. And then the presenters, the people that wrote, please come out. The people that wrote, please come out, come out, come out. It's time to present. Group 1, group 2. Over there, please. Who is your presenter? Can you come? Yes. Group 3? Hello, group 3. Who is your presenter here? Okay. Group 4. Austin, who is presenting for your group? Oh, yeah, please, everybody come out. Let's line up 1, 2, 3, 4. Where is 1? Okay. Please, let's listen. Don't explain. Just mention what you saw and maybe tell us the number. How many things you saw? Okay.
Okay, group 1, we saw 3 things. We saw M, 3, and W.
Okay, thank you. 3 things, yes?
Thank you so much. Group 2, we have seen about 6 things.
Okay.
We have seen W, we have seen M, we have seen 3, we have seen E, and we have seen a crown, and we have seen 2 doors.
Okay.
Yes.
2 what?
2 doors.
Doors. Okay, doors, good. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, in my group, we saw 10 things. 1 W, 2 M, 3 E, 4 3, 5 snake, 6 river, 7 white paper, 8 U.
W.
Yes.
Okay, you and
9
you.
B, 10 N.
10 things. He said you don't see money. Martina, you should see money. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so group 4, we saw 5 things. M, W, E, and then W, and then 3.
Wow. Please, let's clap for all of them. And I think the winner is Martina's group, 10 things. Please, let's clap for them. You can go back to your seats. Let's have the final conversation. Where is Vincent? You are saying perspective. You know, correct them for me. You know, go school like me. Perspective. It's only those for speaking phonetic, I'll be calling it perspective. So there's a mistake here. But I want to ask very briefly, what do you think about that exercise? What does it tell us? Okay, bros, I saw your hand first. Yes, let this brother speak first. Where are the sisters in the room? Oh, okay. Right. Sorry. Oh, I don't see you. Yeah, sorry. And they look up. Go ahead.
Okay, can I continue?
Yes.
What you see may not be exactly what others see. The perspective you take ideas may not be same. So as a facilitator, you need to harmonize the ideas to agree on one thing. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, my brother. I'm going to come.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
What I would like to say is that from wherever you stand, from that position, you see what is real. So we stand in different positions.
Absolutely.
And we see reality from different perspectives.
Yes.
And that is how we acknowledge other people's view or respect that view. Thank you.
Thank you. Victoria. Victoria, I thought I saw your hand. Did I see your hand? Okay.
Maybe because of your experience where you are standing, your context, we see different things. Absolutely. So perspectives differ. Yeah.
Context, experience. Let me take off Young.
Okay, so the exercise asked us to see. But everybody has a reason for seeing. So that's the second part we didn't do.
Okay.
But we can ask, why did you see what you saw?
Thank you. Experience. Okay, I'm going to come back to the front. After Austin, I'm coming forward now. Austin. Because I don't want Austin to give me, his chief whip. Are they fear? This guy beneath chief whip.
Professor Kwadja said it's thief's whip.
Hey, brother. Go
As
ahead.
a facilitator, don't hold on tenaciously to your views. Because there is another view that you need to know.
And it's not a lie. That view is not a lie. It depends on what you are seeing. Okay, yes, ma'am. Sorry.
I think they said virtually everything I wanted to say, is that you see things, allow people to come with their own perspective. Don't just say, because this is mine, this is the way it should be. So people just respect what other people say.
Yes, and that is a big ground rule for this training. Respect people's views. You may not agree with them, but don't shut them down. If you have superior arguments, raise it without even making it look superior. Correct? Finally, my brother.
What I understood from that experience is that the same thing may mean different things to different people.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you very much. So I'd like you to clap for me, but in a special way. No. I'm not going to take that kind of clap. In a special way. I want you people to give me what we call the powder clap. How many of you know the powder clap? Okay, so I'm going to tell you about it. Powder. How many of you know about Saturday night powder of those days? That big powder, family powder, when they finish. After bathing, they pour it on your neck. So let me assume that this is my powder. So everybody pick your powder. If you have something in your front, even if it's a book, that's your powder. And then the next thing you do, the powder is almost finished because we have been using it for donkey years. So we're going to try to force out the powder. Okay? So you pour your powder. Oh, yeah, pour your powder, everybody. After pouring one hand, you want to pour the other one too. Oh, yeah, pour the other hand one. Suddenly you discover that what you have poured is too much. Then you want to reduce it